So where did the idea for this game come from?
So when we first thought about this game, we wanted to create a multiplayer, four-player multiplayer game that had something in it that we hadn't seen before, right? Something that players hadn't seen before, and that's where the original idea was first born.
The game has a very interesting, unique art style with a combination of cel-shaded graphics and regular textures. How did that art design process evolve while you were creating the game?
So essentially, he was already a big fan of Shinimoto-san, who is one of the main artists for the game, who is the main artist for the game. And so he contacted him about a game that was all about co-op and multiplayer and getting people stuck together. And from there, they just kind of came up with ideas and threw ideas off of each other and just kept developing the art style as they went forward.
Was that as simple as just an email or a phone call, or was it more involved than that?
そうですね。電話が多かったですね。
Lots of phone calls.
So talk about the gameplay in this game. It's a 4-op. You wanted to be couch co-op first, and talk about how that went into the design process about making this very fun to play on the couch. Because you can't, like you mentioned, you can play it online as well, but couch co-op is really important to you.
So the main idea was that he wanted players to talk to each other. He wanted them to communicate, and not necessarily like, all right, let's strategize. What are we going to do next? More like shouting at each other, maybe happy shouting, like this is thanks to you, or maybe blaming someone. This is your fault. And so that was where the idea basically for the couch co-op elements of it came from, is just getting players to talk to each other without really thinking about it.
Can you elaborate more of the world of this game? Like what's this internet world that we're exploring and fixing?
So the original idea for how to figure out what exactly the point of the game is and what you should do for the game is that he thought long and hard about what is the thing that people in the world would be most troubled by. And he realized that would be a life without YouTube. So he basically based the game around how do you save YouTube, how do you save those internet content that people enjoy. And so that's where the idea of the internet world came from, and that you need to defeat viruses on the way to do that.
So you also have different aspects of your game. You have 3 different modes. You have like an adventure mode, and then you have a procedurally generated mode, and then you have a 2D platforming mode. Can you elaborate on those different modes and what went into them?
So the 3 modes that we have are story mode, which is basically all the levels are preset, and the way that the game continues is all like set in stone. As you learn a bit more about the story as you go forward. The next up is patrol mode, which is a randomly generated mode where you don't know what enemies are going to pop up, what the stage is going to look like as you go through it. It just brings a lot of unknown to the to the gameplay. And then the third mode is the simulator mode, which is something. The idea was that we wanted friends to get together and kind of talk. Like, what kind of level do you want to make? Can we make this really, really difficult? Can we clear this? And that was the idea that went into that.
We were talking earlier how you're a big fan of American cartoons. Were there any inspirations from the American cartoon side that made it into the game? I mean, the real Ghostbusters stands out to me with just the Glitchbusters aesthetic.
Of course, there's some Ghostbuster DNA in the game, right? We have the Busters in the name. Of course, that was something that was involved in the inspiration for it. But I think the main inspiration for him was the Adventure Time, actually. The aesthetic of it, the simple but kind of cool, kind of cute aesthetic. He really liked it. He really thinks it's a cool, cute show.
Video games transcend languages and countries and regions. Is there anything particularly in your game that you have to, how do I word this correctly, be aware of, because maybe it might be something really popular in Japan, but maybe America has no idea what it is? I'll let you interpret however you want that to interpret.
So when he didn't really put too much thought into that, to be honest. When creating the game, he just kind of thought it doesn't matter where you're from. If you think the game's a little bit kooky, it's good. So that was where a lot of the ideas came from, and that's why it's not necessarily something that you'd see in Japan necessarily, just as it's not something you necessarily see in America.
Now, will the game have crossplay at any given point? Are you planning to do crossplay?
Crossplay ありますか? Crossplay をする予定はありますか?
今はクロスプレイの予定はないんですけれども、とりあえず現状の通信のものをね、頑張って作っていこうかなと思ってます。
So we don't have any plans for crossplay at the moment, but we are determined to make the online gameplay as smooth and comfortable as possible for the platforms that it is on.
And then when does the game come out, and what platforms will it be on at launch?
We're not quite ready to talk about the release date yet. Hopefully that will be coming soon. We'll go ahead and talk about that hopefully soon. But we can say what platforms. So we're going to be bringing it on PC, on PlayStation 4, and then it'll be playable on PlayStation 5, as well as Switch.
And where can people go to find out more information about Glitchbusters? Discord, website, social media?
So if you want to learn more about Glitchbusters, we have an official website. You can go find Glitchbusters Stuck on You. We also have a Discord with Skybound that you can see, official Discord. And right now I think those are our main spots to go check it out.